Save 4, save 2. Save to speak. Speak words. Whose words? What words? Words of wisdom. Words of power. Words of life. Yeah, yeah, words of life. Words to live by, give by, live up to. Words to propel lives to do the will of Yah. He saved you. He saved you, saved you, saved I, saved us by dying for us, dying instead of us, dying instead, dying in our position, dying in our place, dying that we would live in peace, extending his grace, giving us space to know we're saved. Saved from the graves, hold on victory. Now we see and now we decree and believe we have power to declare and power to dare the enemy to stand in the face of God's army. 'Cause we are saved to save another. What does this mean? This save? Who has the power and who would want the job? One who knows him, knows the investment, knows the words, spoken with authority and spoken with power and spoken with creativity and spoken to create, because we're saved even before salvation was known, even before salvation was needed. He saved. Saved by his power divine, saved, new life sublime. Now life is sweet and my joy is complete, 'cause I'm saved. Hey guys, and welcome to Monday Moments with Martina Mitchell on Tuesday. We are here on Tuesday and we are excited that you are with us. Come on, like, share. If you're on Facebook, if you're on Twitter, make sure you like, you share. And if you are joining us via YouTube, make sure that you subscribe, ring that bell, okay, so that you can get the notifications when we go live. All right. I am super excited about tonight. We have a lot that we're going to discuss in a short amount of time, but I'm super excited about who we have with us on tonight. I'm super excited. Good evening to Prophet Chris Vickers. People are still talking about last week. I just want you to know that that was phenomenal. And I'm so grateful. Here comes my dog. She always thinks that I need a co-host, so she always comes into the room. But I am so grateful that you were able to join us last week and just give us so much information. And it makes us even more excited about hearing you teach and share with us at Prayer Intensive 2021. Hey, Sarah Little, how are you? I'm just happy you guys are coming on in. I'm loving it. Phoenix, please stop, sweetie. Sarah, come get and dog sit for me for a few. All right. Hey, Mom G, how are you? We're happy you're with us on tonight. Again, as you come in, make sure that you are liking and sharing. And if you're on YouTube, make sure to like, share, and subscribe We are so excited about what's about to happen on tonight. Good evening to my sister who lives in Delaware. This is my actual biological sister, you guys, Wanda Ore. I'm so happy that you're with us on tonight. And we're just gonna keep on sharing. We're gonna keep on sharing. All right, keep on sharing. Matter of fact, I'm getting ready to hit some people up because they're gonna get me if I don't remind them, because they was like, can you please remind me? Now, this is crazy because they knew that the apostle was coming on tonight, and they were like, I thought we missed it last night. And I'm like, so y'all didn't know Facebook was offline? I ain't gonna come at y'all because I didn't know neither. So it's okay. It's really all right. But I want to make sure that I tell you guys that it's time to get on. Time to get on, time to get on, time to get on. All right. I'm gonna give you 2 seconds to do it, and we're going on because we got stuff to do. We got stuff to talk about, and I have stuff that I need to share. Okay. That's right, Mom G. Start tagging them. All y'all start tagging the people that you know. Because I'm texting them, letting them know, listen, we on live. And I know it's crazy that we're on a Tuesday, but we couldn't let the devil defeat us, right? Right. So that's right. Thank you. All right. So I just want to, before I get into anything, I do want to do a little bit of announcements. Some things that we just got to keep at the forefront of our mind, that we are doing all of this leading up into Prayer Intensive 2021. If you have not registered, there aren't many seats left, but we want you to go ahead and register. It's going to be October 29th and the 30th. That's a Friday evening and a Saturday. All right. So you just block out that whole Saturday. Don't worry if you're coming from out of town, because I travel a lot. So I know how expensive coming from out of town could be. And so we are definitely having dinner for you guys on Saturday. Now Friday is not no sit down dinner. Okay. Because we didn't get word. But when you come in, I'm not sure if you're coming from work. I'm not sure who all is coming from out of town, but we want to make sure that you don't have to spend extra money. So people have been asking me for the recipe for my veggie chili, and I posted it, but I'm just gonna cook it for you. So I'm gonna have my veggie chili, and I have my chili with some meat in it for you meat eaters. We'll have that for you too. But we want to make sure you don't have to worry about spending money. And then of course we have continental breakfast on Saturday. We also have what do we have on Saturday? We have continental breakfast. We have lunch for you. We also will have a sit down dinner for all of our out of town guests. So whether you're a speaker or not, if you are an out of town guest, we are feeding you on that Saturday evening. All right. And then on Sunday, for those that are staying over on Sunday and want to worship with us on Sunday morning, or you simply want to sleep late, I hope you want to worship. But if you don't, you just want to sleep late, I get it. We will also have something for our out of town guests at the hotel called A Taste of Philly. So everything that's made in Philly, everything that we drink in Philly, all the snacks we have in Philly, we're going to have for you guys on that Sunday. It's going to be amazing, 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 amazing. I'm getting this out the way. We are currently in our food drive. It is our new outreach project, and we are doing this. We began on October the 1st, and this is going through December 31st. We definitely take food to all of our seniors and those that are in need. So of course, we're going to do baskets on Christmas and Thanksgiving, but we're also going to do baskets. We're also going to do food on other days. People are hungry on other days besides Thanksgiving and Christmas, and we want to be able to supply them with that food. So if you're interested in helping us, we ask you to just go to one of our giving areas that we have, our giving meetings. And so you can give towards the outreach project, or you can become a monthly subscriber. And if you are a monthly partner with us, we ask you to give to Cash App, which is $M Mitchell Ministries 1, or you can go to our PayPal, and our email for our PayPal is mbly@martinamitchellministries.com. That is all of our online giving, and we just ask you to be a part. We don't tell you how much to give, and if you want to be a partner, you decide how much you want to give, whether you're donating to the outreach or whether you are donating to becoming a partner. We're just excited that you are with us. And I really just want to, hey, Delinda, hey, Apostle Cassie Jones. There's a whole lot of folk that I'm just loving. My Apostle Aaron J. Mobley. Love this man of God. And stay tuned, because Apostle Aaron J. Mobley will be with us on Monday Moments with Martina Mitchell on October the 25th. So we're excited about that. Hey, Brian Greer, I will see you at baptism tomorrow. It's going to be an amazing time at Kingdom Life. And so we are excited about what God is doing over there and how Prophet Brian Greer has been holding it down while our pastor is away. And so while he is away from the church, we are just grateful that we have the kind of man of God that keeps it going and still keeps us in line. They're going to start working me so hard. I'm going to talk to Pastor about y'all when he get back, but I'm going to let y'all slide right now. I'm going to do whatever I need to do, all right? Apostle Cassie Jones, we love you all the way from Columbia, South Carolina. Well, that area. I'm not going to tell people exactly where you live. But anywho, we're so grateful that you are on tonight. Delinda, welcome on tonight. Zenith, welcome on tonight. That's right, guys. Keep tagging those people in because we need them to come in here. Now, listen, anybody that has any kind of gifting, you're a prophet. you let me put it like this. I feel like being a little facetious tonight. You think you're a prophet. You think you have the gift of teaching. You or an evangelist. Maybe you have apostle to the front of your name, or any of the other amazing gifts that Holy Spirit gives us. Anybody with any of those, you need to be tagging them on tonight because we're going to talk about some good things on tonight. All right. So without further ado, I just want to bring the woman of God. I was going to wait for you to be done, sis. I wasn't going to even do that to you. Well, I ain't going to do that to you. I saw you taking your sip of your little tea. I got you covered. Cover. Oh, Deborah Hooper says she ready. And I'm ready. So let's bring the woman of God on because I'm just excited about her and excited about what Father is doing in her life. And so, hey there, Apostle Nakia O. I get to call you Apostle a lot tonight, especially since we don't do it, we don't do it at prayer intensive. We all get a break at prayer intensive. We just chuck them titles at the door and we just go for broke. So you gotta let me do it tonight. Apostle, how are you? I was there at your confirming service. So listen. The good Apostle Nakia O. coming out of North Carolina. And I just want everybody to know that everybody that we have coming on each week are our speakers, or they're taking some part in prayer intensive. And Nakia O. the good Apostle Nakia O. is definitely, even Apostle going, Apostle, that's right. That's why he's my Apostle. We want the people to know that you are going to bring some amazing information. Can I just tell you what I love about your ministry? Because I told people when we were away, I was like, I don't know about Nakia I don't know. My jury's still out on her. Not in your gifting, because I've always seen you as anointed. But I think I failed to say when I said that how much in love I've fallen with you and your gift and just who you are as a human being. You are amazing. Welcome to Monday Moments with Martina Mitchell.
Hello. Can you hear me okay?
I hear you real clear.
Okay, because I got my new AirPod Pros in. I was trying them out, make sure that we get to go. Y'all see them?
Listen, they got some good sound on them tonight. Sound like they in stereo.
What these the noise canceling ones? So I'm testing them out. Listen, Apostle Moses, what you're not gonna do is this, okay? We're not doing this tonight, all right? We're not doing this tonight, okay?
Look at Michael Blah.
I see him. Listen, so y'all can just call me Nakia. And for the saints in the back, the O is my middle initial. My last name is not Oshai.
It's O dot.
O dot.
Shy.
O dot.
O dot. They need to know that. I don't need this.
Yes, son, I think God realized I needed these in my life expeditiously. So he dispatched the delivering angels to make sure I had these post haste. Post haste.
Oh,
and so yeah.
Even Apostle Cassie is getting you. Bless you, Apostle Nakia Shy.
Oh, bless you. You know what? Son, favor ain't fair, but it does cost.
Don't move too fast on me. Hold on. Let me write that down. Let me write that down. Because listen, y'all have no idea all of the things that are running through my mind at this particular moment.
Well, while you writing that down, I want to let the viewership know that the apostle texted me these questions
When?
on Sunday. And I was like, what? I've been praying, y'all, that God would shift these questions ever since I saw. We're going to see how tapped in I am on this evening.
Listen.
Okay.
I feel a
We're
tap
about to see.
anointing.
I said, oh, Mark Zuckerberg shut down Facebook. God must be trying to answer prayer. I said, God, is that you?
No, he gave you an extra day. That's all.
Is that you?
Listen.
Oh,
right
the
off the
favor
gate,
is not fair, but it does cost.
This is going to be real, real good on tonight because I'm talking to one of my favorite people who, like, every conversation has been great. And I think they're just going to get better and better and better. But I feel like I'm talking to one who don't hold no punches on tonight. The other folk was being nice. But I feel like, listen, I ain't bring no tea to sip on tonight. I can't even ask her because he downstairs sleeping on the couch. He don't even know that we here. But we here.
Oh
we
God.
here. We here.
I told God I was going to be my best good behavior. I'm going to be my best good behavior tonight.
You going to be on your best good behavior?
My best good behavior.
Can we talk about your good book for a moment?
Oh, Mighty Lamb. Mighty Lamb. Okay, let me see.
Wait. I'm gonna get you a nice, good introduction. Hold on. Watch what I got. Watch what I got. I know y'all weren't ready for that. Wait. It had a nice little groove going, didn't it? I said,
I was loving the groove.
I'm
Yeah.
loving it. I am in love. So even though I don't praise dance anymore, I don't minister and praise dance, which is probably one of the reasons why I was able to gain all this weight. But this has been amazing. So I gotta read a book before I bring it on. Right. Which is why I haven't gotten that far in this one that we're supposed to be reading.
That's okay.
But this book right here really blessed my soul. And one of the things that you say in here is that really blessed me. It's a couple of things. I have a couple of things in here. But one of the first things that blessed me was you said ministers of movement. Hold on, let me go further. You are more than a dancer. You are a minister of movement. A minister is simply defined as servant. In the context of this book, a minister of movement is a servant that utilizes movement to preach the gospel. Ministers of movement utilize visual demonstration, typically set to the sound to deliver God's message. That was powerful and gave me such context for what I watched you guys do in I should have loaded that. What I saw you guys do in Chicago. This concept of ministers of movement, without me going into telling the people what I've read, how did you come upon that? And I feel like we need to talk about that and coin that in case folk hear anybody else say it. We know where it came from. I'm just saying.
Well, so I can't remember where I first heard that. So I can't say that I am the progenitor of that term. But what I can say is we used to call them, you're a praise dancer, or you're a mime, or you flag, or whatever, or you just do sign language.
Yeah.
And they would use that as they say, "Oh, you're just," and then they'll fill in the blank as a way to marginalize what it is that we do. But as I talk about, there's the 3 chords of worship in the book. We talk about the sights of God, the sounds of God, and the songs of God. And so it's a 3-fold chord of worship. So the ministers of movement are the visual representation of what God is saying. And I tell people, I share my personal conversion story. You know, I was saved younger. I was going to say younger. I was like 19, 20 years old when I first gave my life to Christ. I was unchurched. I didn't grow up in the church. I did not, quiet as kept. I am unchurched. I was not raised in church. I was not raised on 5 services a day and went to church 9 days a week. That's not my testimony. Now, I knew what church was and I went to church, but I wasn't raised in church. So I gave my life to Christ. And then I'm gonna just start talking, and then I'm sure you're gonna write down and bring me back to some of the things I say.
I got you.
I gave my life to Christ. My pastor prophesied something to me outside of God's timing. And when he did that, it terrified me so much that I ran for like 10 years. So and what he said, I mean, because I wasn't discipled enough, I wasn't mature enough, I didn't have the proper understanding enough. So hold on, is that the Apostle Michelle Harding? Hey, woman of God. And so in the midst of, but when I came back to Christ, it wasn't the preach word that brought me back to Christ. It wasn't the music. It wasn't the choir that brought me back. It wasn't the musicians that brought me back. I saw a woman minister in dance.
Wow.
And her message, she looked like a legitimate angel floating in the air. I know her feet were touching the ground, but I promise you, it looked like an angel floating in the air, and I could see everything that she was using her body to say to me. And that was what brought me back to Christ, was the minister of movement. And so everybody has a different testimony on how they come, but she preached a whole sermon in a 4-minute song. It's like she preached my whole life. It's like she prophesied my whole life to me in this 4-minute song.
Wow.
And so I know I'm not the only person that was impacted by God's word set to motion.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was the sight. And now it makes sense to me, because me being a creative, I'm highly visual. Even in how God downloads prophetic words to me, I see more than I hear. And so my eye gate has always been keen. And if that impacted, I'm not the only person that has been touched. I have witnessed people be transformed through movement, or what prophets want to call, I want to do a prophetic demonstration. Mm-hmm. Well, if you're doing a demonstration and you're using your body to do that demonstration, what are you doing? You're moving. So I'm still talking about prayer intensive. I'm talking about prayer intensive. And so prayer and worship is a full body experience. It is a full body experience. And so we like to, and again, because most of us are visual in nature. As a teacher, I know if I stimulate more senses, the more senses I stimulate, the higher the probability of my the audience or the receiver to understand and comprehend and to hold on to what it is I'm trying to get them to understand, which is why prophetic demonstrations are so amazing, and why people will forget what the sermon was, but they'll remember what the demonstration was, because it was, I get to see what it is. So ministers of movement are people who genuinely tap in to whatever heaven's message is. And after they tap in, they show you what heaven is saying.
That's powerful.
So they show you, so you get to see. So think about this. One of my favorite passages of scripture is Revelations 4, because it's probably one of the most visual representations of worship to me. And when you see Revelation 4, they talk about the 4 and 20 elders. And mind you, I'm an ESV girl. I do not fool with the King James. I don't like King James Version. And the reason why I don't do King James Version is because King James, although is what we know, it's one of the translations that its source document is the most problematic. Whereas ESV, some of the newer translations, have had a higher quality of source documentation, more verifiable source documentation. And so people say, well, there's these differences between these translations. I know I'm jumping all over the place, and I'm sorry.
Yeah,
there's these differences in translations. And it's just me and the king. Me and the king been walking together my whole life. And I'm here to tell you, the king gets a lot of stuff wrong. Nevertheless, what I do love about the King James is because it is a poetic translation. And so I love how the King James at least, the King James is so, because he used poets to translate. And so I love when he says the 4 in the verses 24, something about the 4 and the 20 elders sitting around, in the 4 and the 20 thrones, and they're dressed in their white raiment. And what they do is they're sitting round about the throne, right? And you see the lightnings and the thunderings coming through the base. So it's a very visual description of what heaven would look like, right? And then these 4 and 20 elders representing the 4 and the 20. Anyway, they, in their white robes, in their white garments, get off of their high crown, their place of exaltation. They come down and kneel, and they have the audacity to be in all white and to get on the ground. And not only that, they take their crowns off, put them down, and say, "Holy, holy, holy are the Lord God Almighty," right? And then they get up, get back on their throne, and then something within them like stirs again. They get up again and they keep doing this over and over and over again. So I can explain that to you, and you kind of get what that looks like. But imagine if I have a chair that looks like a throne, and I sit 24 seats around that chair, and I have 24 dancers dressed in white garments, and then I have the angel wings going, and I just have all right now, so you get the goosebumps, right? Because you get to see what this passage is saying.
Yeah.
And now it becomes real to you. And because it's real, it's a real encounter for you, and that sits with you.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a very visual person. If you're just joining us, it's because I've been talking about this book that Nakia O, the Apostle, I get to call her tonight, the Apostle Nakia O. And the beautiful thing is, it has a workbook. Now, normally when you get workbooks from people, they're super thin and they kind of mimic what's in the regular book. But guys, I'm just saying, this thing is meaty. Do you hear me? This thing is meaty. I was going through it earlier with my husband, right? And I was like, because I said, I was when I bought it, I said, I'm going to gift this to somebody I know that really still does dance, and I'm just not that person. Hey, Apostle Wimley, everybody's being called Apostle tonight. Hey, Apostle Wimley, you got a title, we coming for you. All right. Oh, listen, Zena said, what a vision. Listen, but when this is so good, I was like, I can't get this out of my library to give to somebody else. I just have to buy another copy, and I'm just gonna have, because I want to give it to the guy that's over our dance ministry. He's amazing, and he has a degree in dance, and so we're gonna give him a copy, but he can't have my copy. I'm just saying.
I will have some on hand at prayer intensive.
Come on, so y'all
have some on hand at prayer intensive, and listen, the workbook, it really is. So I wrote that for everyone. If you want to learn how to do your own personal Bible study, that workbook is for you. If you want to learn more about worship arts, that's for you. If you are a leader in any capacity, that workbook is for you. And guess what, y'all? I wrote it for you to take it and use it and to teach from it. So I will not be offended if you buy the book and workbook and you teach from it. I won't. All I ask you to do,
buy it
is first. Tell the people, hey, well, you got it from, hey, I bought this workbook. Just a simple plug will be fine. That's it. That's all.
And it's beautiful because you talks about the preparation you go through as anyone that's walking in any kind of leadership. Like, do I know who I am? It's a whole chapter on, do you know? Listen, preparation is like huge. It has even how you eat, in here, like for you to log what you're eating, how you're eating, because that stuff can weigh you down. And this is good.
Absolutely.
This is so good.
Absolutely.
Listen, I'm getting another copy, so I'm gonna get mine as soon as she walked through the door. Matter of fact, as soon as they picked up from the airport. Matter of fact, when we get off of here, I'm just gonna cash up you my money because I have a feeling this is gonna sell out at the prayer intensive, and so I just need to make sure I have mine. So you said quite a few things that really piqued my attention, and but I want to be conscientious of our time because we do have somewhere else to be.
Actually, I rescheduled that.
Good,
So we have time.
so I can get through all of my questions then.
Yes, you can.
Or I hope y'all tagging people that really need to be on here because this is amazing. Okay. So we're gonna talk about gifting tonight. And I wanted you to kind of give a foundation of what is considered the gifts of God or gifts of the Holy Spirit and where they are. I mean, you don't have to. I'm just saying, we need a clear concept of what is considered the giftings of God, because some of these things that I'm hearing are a little off. But
so I will start with this. God does not have to check with mankind to do anything.
Buckle yourselves, y'all.
God does not have to check in with us to say, hey, are y'all cool with this for me to do it? He don't do that. And so I always tell people the Bible is a book written about God, written for a people, but not written to us, but it's written for us. You're like, well, what does that mean? The Bible was written over a period of time to a specific people group at a specific time.
Well,
it was not written to the 21st century believer. It wasn't. It was written to a first century, if you talk about the New Testament, and were written for a post-Christ group of people. And it was written about a people that God chose. So there were people walking the earth that are not necessarily listed in the Bible because he wasn't talking about them. Okay. So it has applications to the 21st century believer, but it was not written to the 21st century believer. Can we just understand that? All right. Because the authors of the canonized Bible, and I'm talking about the canonized, the 66 books that are before you, there are many books of the Bible that was not part of the canon. There are texts that were written in the first century and before the first century that are not a part of the canon. They're not a part of the 66 Bibles that the Protestants use as their Bible. If you look at a Protestant Bible, it's going to look a little bit different. If you look at a Hebrew Bible, it's going to look a little bit different. If you look at a legitimate Catholic Bible, it's going to be different because we don't have the Maccabees in our Bible. There's several books that are not in there. There are several Gospels. Gospel of Judas, Gospel of Mary. Just saying. So the 66 books of the canonized Bible was written for us, but not written to us. And I say all that to say is God can express how he wants to express the way he wants to express. And it is arrogant of us as humanity to try to say, well, if it's not in the Bible, it's not God. Well, airplanes weren't in the Bible, but we ride on them.
Listen.
I'm just putting that out there. However, the Bible does give us characteristics of a God that lets you know whatever that you're doing, does it align with his character? Now, the gifts that we typically talk about, we talk about the gifts, we talk about the Romans 12 gifts, right?
Mm-hmm.
We talk about the 1 Corinthians 12 gifts, and we talk about the Ephesians 4 gifts. And so you're wondering, well, what are these giftings? What are they? Okay. So there are 9 gifts that are listed in First Corinthians. Then you have the fivefold-ish gifts. And actually, there's more than 9 gifts listed in First Corinthians, but we just talk about the 9. There's actually more. Yeah. Because gift of administration is in First Corinthians.
Yeah.
We don't talk about those. Because that's like First Corinthians 12:28. In that area.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to just talk about the gifts, and I'm going to leave it. I got my notes over here because I have a whole teaching I do on spiritual gifts, and I'm working on a workbook for that. Okay, so we're working on that. All right.
Is there a possibility we close to this workbook for the prayer intensive, but we gotta wait?
I think I can work on that. I'm gonna have to. What y'all get at prayer intensive probably won't be the like final draft, but it'll be enough to where I can go to Kinko somewhere and get it printed off so y'all can have it. And I know Michael Bly asked, are there handouts for? I'm gonna see.
Okay.
I'm gonna see.
Don't give them a lot that's gonna be in the book as a handout, though. No.
So if I do a handout, it's gonna be a workbook style. So you saw my workbook where there's a lot of blank spaces for you to write.
Yeah.
That's what it would be. All right. So we have to understand what a gift is first and foremost, right? What is a gift? So we talk about the gift in Romans 12. That's where we get charisma from.
Mm-hmm.
Charisma is a gift. It's a divine gratuity, right? It is a something that God gave us. So when we say we have a gift, and especially like the Ephesians 4 gifts, they're a gift of a gift. So they are the gift that happens to be a gift.
Mm.
So the fivefold is a gift to the body. We are a gift to the body. And we have to listen. Most of us have watched Toy Story, right? And so those gifts don't decide to stop being gifts. Even if the gift was given to don't play with you, put you on a shelf, even if they get new gifts, you are still a gift to the person that the gift was given to. The gift giver gave it to you as a gift. And even if you are regifted, you're still what? A gift, and you don't get to decide to not behave like a gift. You are just what? A gift. Okay, I feel like I'm already, I'm teaching my prayer intensive stuff on the call, and that's not what I'm supposed to be doing. So
I feel like I'm over here screaming, so I have to keep going on mute. Because I'm screaming.
They are a gift. So the ascension gifts, the fivefold gifts, are a gift to the body. He gave some to be these things. These are gifts. And guess what? The Romans 12 gifts were given to you to be a gift to the body. The First Corinthians gifts are gifts given to you for you to be a gift to the body. Every gift that is given, it was for the purposes of the body. So if you have, we're going to go in Romans 12 first. You have the gift of prophecy, the gift of service, the gift of teaching, the gift of exhortation, the gift of giving, the gift of leadership, the gift of mercy. Those 7 gifts are for the body. They are for the body as a whole. They're not for your individual usage. They're for the body to help the body go and grow.
Say that again.
So you are a gift. Every gift you have is for the purposes of expanding and used together for the trajectory of the body. But I'm going to say this. All of these gifts have an application within the ecclesia. They have an ecclesial application where in the body of the ecclesia, and they have an application in the secular realm. You don't get to pick up your gift at church and then lay it down when you leave church and then you do something else at work. If you are prophetic, your prophetic gifting will be present no matter where you go. And the institution of the church needs to stop putting gifted people in bondage and using or abusing their gift without proper compensation. The Bible says the workman is worthy of his hire. So we got to stop manipulating people and tricking them to feel like, you know what, because you're doing it for the church, it don't require compensation. No, baby. No, baby. If I have a PhD, if I am a JD, if I'm a lawyer in these secular streets, if I choose to gift my gift to you and use it as a charitable contribution, that is my choice. However, every gift should be properly compensated and not preached on because they don't want to give to you and to subject themselves to what we is tantamount to usury.
I don't know if they ready. Listen. I gotta take something from my grandson and ask y'all. Y'all all right? This is good. This is good because we do treat the gifts of the house as if they're supposed to just keep working and working and working and using what God gave them, and give them a good God bless you and a thank you and amen. We done.
No, so we have to remember. Okay, so here's the thing about that, right? And people want to say in the first century church, everybody brought their stuffs together and there was no lack. So everybody brought their things together and there was no lack between. I hear you. There was also no Social Security. There was no Medicaid. There was no Medicare. There wasn't WIC. There wasn't food stamps. There wasn't Section 8. There wasn't HUD. There wasn't any of those things available to them. So they had to do that as a community. And that the citizenship understood the bartering system. Okay, no problem. I will come in here and give you my gift. Will you pay my light bill?
I wish I had a sound of crickets.
All right, I will come in here. I'll be the church secretary. I will even clean the bathroom. Can I get a housing voucher? Does the church have 10 acres of land that has a whole garden in it to where, because I can't eat, I can come and pick out of this garden and feed my family? No, I gotta go to work. Oh, okay. So you want me here on Sunday morning when I'm supposed to be at work and you're guilting me because I'm choosing to work to feed my family, but I'm supposed to be here, but here is not feeding my family. And then you want to tell me it's my lack of faith is why my family is starving. No. No.
Wow.
Or you want to pay the preacher, you'll pay the minister of music, and you'll pay the worship leader, but you won't pay the usher, you won't pay the security guards, you won't pay the ministers of movement, you won't pay, or you'll spend $10,000 on a sound system but want volunteers to run it and then get mad because your sound ain't right.
Seen that happen.
But okay, so then you have the 1 Corinthians gifts. 1 Corinthians 12, 8 through 10, and verse 28. Okay, so you have your word of wisdom, your word of knowledge, you have the gift of faith, the gifts of healing. So let me clarify something. Out of all the gifts, the only gift that has a plurality is the gifts of healing. That is the only plural one. Meaning there's more than one gift of healing. more than one manifestation of this. It's the gifts, plural, of healing. Working of miracles, discerning of spirits, the gift of tongues, the gift of interpretation of tongues, the gift of prophecy. Then, John, verse 28, then it talks about the gift of helps and the gift of administration. And then you have your Ephesians 4 gifts. The gift of the apostle, prophet, evangelist, pastor, and that of the teacher. And then there's some other miscellaneous gifts, or people who have special endowments, the gift of, celibacy, voluntary prophecy, martyrdom, and hospitality, missionary stuff. Those are the gifts. Now, are there other ones? Perhaps. And can God decide he want to give more? Absolutely. Can he decide he want to do a whole new thing, turn everything on its ear? He God. He don't have to check in with us. He can do whatever he want to do. This his church, and these his people. Okay, I'm done. I'm back. I'm behaving. Let me check in with my babies and make sure that I'm good. Apostle, you're muted, so I can't hear you.
That would help, right? So I'm hoping that we are just stuck in the Ephesians 4 gifts, but that we understand that there are other scriptures about gifts that we cannot negate. We cannot look over. Listen, you can't look over. Thank you, Chris. Y'all know me. I stay muted when I'm trying to let what happening happen. So, question. This might put you on your soapbox, but hey, we out here.
We out here.
We out here, so we might as well just go all the way. Most of the time, we only hear about the ascension gifts in Ephesians 4:11. Why do you think that is?
So this is a setup question. I feel like all of the questions you have for me are like a setup questions, and I don't appreciate it. But so we all like a spectacle, which is why the Colosseum in Rome was so a great place, because you get to see the gladiators, you get to see all kinds of stuff going on. We love a spectacle. That's why we like the circus, we like fair. We like a spectacle. And these giftings have a spectacle that go with them. All of them are highly supernatural, the fivefold. They're highly supernatural gifts. And we tend to think that I want to say it in two different ways. One, there are many who have been falsely mantled as fivefold, parading as fivefold, or probably are not fivefold, and are utilizing this as a means of control, manipulation, and power. And so we talk about it all the time, because we got to make sure that, because we want to make sure we want you to understand. We're leading you. So if I'm an apostle, that gives me weight and credence, because Paul was an apostle, and Peter was an apostle, and John was an apostle, and they got to govern, and they got to rule, and they had power. And then you have the prophets and the evangelists. Well, let's talk about the evangelists. I think out of all the gifts, the gift that has the most supernatural cloaking, it would be that of the evangelist, because of by nature of what it is that they do. The evangelist is not for the believers, for the unbeliever. So they get all the sexy gifts. They get all the power gifts. They get all the stuff that allows them to go into places and transform minds by way of the spectacle that goes along with it. You know what I'm saying? So evangelists, typically, they're going to be signs, miracles, and wonders, because to the unbeliever, what makes your God makes you better than Buddha, makes you better than Allah, makes you better than, Haile Selassie? What makes you better than any of these other guys? Well, let me show you them. And so you have these powerful gifts and demonstrations that go with it.
Yeah.
And so it's sexy. Like, oh my gosh, I got to go to the tent revival to see this person, this snake charmer. You
said something.
And I think, and also because I'll say this, I'm gonna say this up front, and I'll say this often. I am married to the church. I love her and I'm married to her. So I'm not bashing her at all. And when I talk about the church, I use it interchangeable with the institution and the body. Yeah. I'm married to both. The reason why I'm married to the institution, because I'm an elder, an ordained elder in the gospel. So I am definitely married to the institution of the church. As an apostolic voice, I am married to the body, or to the kingdom side of it as well. So I've been married to, I got 2 wives, if you will, or 2 husbands, however you want to call it.
Whatever makes you comfortable and whatever.
But I don't get all the, I'm gonna keep it clean. I mean, if I had, I'm just saying, can I get the full benefits of being married to both? But nevertheless, we're gonna stay focused.
So you mentioned something earlier when you talked about being prophesied to out of timing. And so I want to jump to a different question because I've heard you speak about this often, the misplaced gifts. Can you share with our listeners what it means to be a misplaced gift? Like, what does that look like? Because there are people who have been set in different places, and I want folk to get clarity on tonight, not to beat up on them, but I want them to get clarity so they can get in their rightful place and really operate.
I'm going to use an example of one of your probably most favorite preachers. This person has a huge following. This person is an evangelist, but we call that person prophet or prophetess. I'm not going to say that person's name.
Okay.
Because I don't want, their following to come after me.
I don't want their following to come after you either. Because then we have to, never mind.
So what it looks like, it looks different for each misplacement. And I will use me as an example. And my son Chris loves me to tell this story. I was confirmed as a prophet in 2014. And at that time, I thought I was one. Because, so I'm going to say how it happens. Because we spend so much time studying the Ephesians 4 gifts, we don't spend enough time really understanding the Romans gifts or the 1 Corinthians gifts. When people demonstrate certain things, they immediately go to 5-fold and not consider the other gifts. There are 16 to 18 other gifts that are mentioned. There are 11 mentioned in 1 Corinthians and 7 mentioned in Romans, right? So prophecy is listed twice, so we can just say, there's 16 other gifts outside of the 5. So there's 21 gifts, 22, depends on how you want to count them. But because we've gotten so much education on the 5-fold gifts, we automatically assume when I have a gift, I want to know, well, what's your gift? We sit on the 5-fold and not fully look at the totality of their gifting, nor do we take the time to see what is transpiring over time. And I'm going to touch on a couple of things in my answer. I wish you wouldn't just jump off here. I want to see your face when I'm talking.
I wanted the people to have a real good look at how pretty you was. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm fine as frog hair, newly single. So if you know anybody, tell them come holler at me. Nevertheless, but we spend so much time on the 5-fold that we forget about the other stuff, and I'm jumping all over the place. So, and hopefully you can keep me tethered because it's coming so fast. For me, I'm highly prophetic. I flow heavily in a gift of knowledge. I have a gift of discerning of spirits, and I flow in a word of wisdom. And because of all of those things, they work so well together. And because of how I was trained, how keenly I was trained, I would make you think I'm a prophet. But what lets you know I'm not a prophet is the things that grieve God's heart don't grieve mine.
So is that
it's one of the telltale signs.
Okay.
It's one of the telltale signs. I understand injustice, but not to the point that it's a burden of mine. Not to the point that I would sit here like a dog on a bone and like dig in and dig my heels in about something that's happening as far as injustice. I will bring attention to something that's injustice, but I'm not going to sit here and lay down my life for injustice. I am not going to be a lawyer in the sense and advocate on behalf of God like a prophet would. I am not one that is so caught up in revelation that that I don't want to be down here in humanity. You know, a lot of prophets, especially prophets who are not in healthy relationship with other healthy gifts, they are stuck on the supernatural to the point that you like, can you come back? Can you just talk to me regular? Can you just talk to me regular? Right? I'm not going to sit here and stand in between porch and altar for you either. But because the demonstration of my prophetic gifts was so keen, people automatically, well, you're a prophet. Well, no, really it's these other ancillary gifts, this gift of prophecy, and not a prophet, but this gift of prophecy. Not I am a gift as a prophet. That, you get what I'm saying? So that's how it happens. You have a person who has a strong gift of administration. So because they are gatherers, they are strategic, and they're able to do business, that person must be an apostle. No. So we spend so much time and thinking that the fivefold are the only gifts, and forget, because we don't do enough discipleship, we don't study enough, and we don't have enough teachers that have been given the voice or the ability to be vocal to be able to say, hey,
let's look at some other stuff.
Because, and the reason why is teachers will slow down the whole momentum. Teachers will slow it down. Teachers are concerned. Teachers and pastors are similar in a sense, but they're not the same. Teachers and pastors are concerned about the body as a whole, but for different reasons. Teachers want to make sure that you have a firm understanding, so when I'm not with you, you can stand without me. That you're able to discern what's in front of you. You can articulate what it is, and you can defend the gospel. Pastors are just wanting to protect. So they'll slow us down for a means of protecting. Teachers will slow us down for a means of educating. Right? And so because we've not had the teachers in their rightful place, we have a person who has the ability to teach versus being a teacher. It's a difference. It's a whole difference. And so teachers are people who are not easily moved. They are supernatural, and they're highly prophetic, by the way. Because how are they able to break down a prophetic text and make you understand it and not be supernatural themselves?
Wow.
They're not just intellectuals, they're supernatural as well. They understand the supernatural in a very logical and in a heady way that makes it easier for me to explain it to you, for you to be able to understand it. Right? So we're not easily impressed, and we take time to assess. So you may have prophesied 15 times. and the Spirit of the Lord came upon you 15 times. But the teacher is looking to see, did you prophesy because we were in a prophetic atmosphere, or was God talking to you this entire time? Was it the spirit of prophecy? Was it the gift of prophecy? Or was it the gift as a prophet that is at work right now? We need to understand. So we got to trace you. We got to sit here and look at you over time. So teachers are not microwave. Teachers are definitely the oven. And not even and we are more of a confection oven. We want to make sure it's done evenly. We want to circulate this whole thing and look at you, hit you on all sides for it. And we're more like slow cookers, actually. We want to see over time. Are you going to dry out quick? Was this a fluke? Is this a poor cut of meat? Or are you a filet mignon, or are you a shank steak? Which one are you? If I cook you, put you under the right circumstances, are you going to be fork tender, or are you going to be tough?
Woo.
So teachers were always there to validate what this spirit was saying. They're fact checkers, naturally skeptical. When I say, I can look in the audience and tell the people who are teachers by way of how they respond to what's going on. They're the ones standing back. You're typically on the wall, literally on the wall, looking like, and taking it all in, processing the whole thing. Which is why they frustrate prophetic types, because prophetic types, I want to live in types and shadows. I'm riding the wave of the glory of God. Like, I don't want a sail. I don't want a sail. Just take the mask. I just want to ride the wave. Just why are you doing this? I don't need a parachute. Just drop me in it right now. We want to be in the eye of the storm. And the teacher is like, yeah, there's a depression forming here, and this is the right circumstances going to create this cyclone. So was it because you're in the right place at the right time that this happened? Or do because prophets create the storm. Prophetic types benefit from the storm once it's created. And teachers are like, I am the meteorologist saying this is the storm that's about to happen. Because these things happen. And this is why you were able to flow.
That's so good, because I've been trying to tell people for years that have tried to label me as a prophet. And I'm like, no, I've operated in words of knowledge in the moment because of the evangelistical call I have. I can live inside of Proverbs 11 and 30 my whole entire life. Or if there is an atmosphere, then I can, I can create my own atmosphere, but I know that I'm not being a prophet. That's not my calling, because I don't have it all the time. And sometimes I really want to just get into the meat of the word. I don't really want to hear somebody asking, what is the Lord saying? Getting your 66 books of your Bible, he'll tell you what he's saying. No, this is good. This is good. Are y'all getting this? If you are not registered for prayer intensive, listen, I don't know what you're sitting here waiting for.
I feel like am I all over the place, saints and friends? Y'all talk to me in the comments. Y'all need to let me know, if I'm all over, because I feel like I'm just, and my son telling me I'm fussing. Y'all, am I fussing, y'all? Please tell me if I'm fussing.
For me, it's flowing. For me, I feel like it's flowing, and I feel like we're getting a side of the word of God that we don't normally hear or get taught. We'll see the operation of gifts, and because they look sexy, people desire to have those particular gifts, not understanding what comes along with them, the study time, the press-in time, the lean-in time, whatever, how God is taking you on this journey. I know I saw Apostle Shar early and didn't get a chance to say, hey, boo. But I feel like tonight we're getting something, which is one of the reasons why when the Lord gave me your name, and because I tried to get you to do Friday night. I'm not just going to tell the saints for real. I tried to get her, Chris, let me talk to you for a minute. I tried to get, her to do Friday night for me. And she was like, no, ma'am. I'm not used to people telling me no, Apostle Michelle. How are we doing that? How are we doing that? So I said, okay, Lord. I said, she don't want to do Friday night, Lord. And Apostle, and the Lord said, ask Apostle Mobley. So I said, okay, Lord, what am I gonna do about her? He said, I'm gonna work on her. He said, I'm gonna work on it, and work on her. He did, because we needed this, and I feel like you needed more time to deal with this than what a session gives. We can't even do this tonight in an hour. How are we gonna do this on a Saturday in an hour? That's what she told me, Chris. We ain't trying to hear that. Let me go real hood for you. We ain't trying to hear that. Now we ain't trying to hear. We ain't trying to hear that.
So listen, let me explain. Can I explain myself? Can I
Go,
explain it?
go explain. I'm gonna take a sip of this water before I get my next question.
Explain it. I am not your typical evening speaker. I'm not even a preacher. I am definitely a teacher. Listen, here come Apostle Michelle. See, here she go. You know what? I'm not gonna be petty, Apostle Michelle. I'm a, you know what? Just like you trying to push me right now, I'm gonna keep my stuff for you. I'm keep it to myself.
Can I just say I'm with Apostle Michelle, because and this probably was my fault, because I probably should explain to you that prayer intensive is not the typical conference. We actually come to learn and pray. So all of the sessions, we sat on Friday night session where Minister Omar Barlow came in and he taught for 4 hours. And guess what? The people sat because we were hungry, and we sat for 4 hours. When you don't get this type of teaching on a regular, and I'm not talking about preaching. My pastor is a preaching some doggone body. You hear me? I can sit and listen to him for hours because it's always relevant. But I think the level of teaching that you do in this area. So I'm just going, you know what? I'm just going to bring you back up to Philly after prayer intensive, because this needs to be a soaking. This needs to be a session where people can sit and soak what you have labored for, that you give the body of Christ. I mean, you're one of the gifts of the body that I feel like has been hidden in obscurity. And I believe it was Father doing it, hiding you on the backside of the mountain. We just gonna call you Davina on tonight. Is that all right? Because you have a wealth of information and such a love for the body of Christ that we just gonna have to bring her back up. I mean, what y'all think, Delinda? Talk to me, Nikita and all y'all. I think we just gonna have to, even after prayer intensive, we just gonna have to bring you back where we can just sit, even if it's like, we have a room in the hotel and the people just come and get to sit and soak. You have what this generation needs. You have what this area is calling for. And I know it's not just Philadelphia, but I can only speak for Philadelphia, where I am, that there is a level of teaching that I want to expose the people to, which is why I, asked you to come in, which is why I've asked Chris Vickers to come in, which is why I've asked Michelle Harding to come in. They haven't heard these voices. They haven't heard these teachings. And I just believe that when prayer intensive is over, as he does every year, the people are going out so much different than, see, even Z saying, yes, bring her back. Listen, you ain't even got here and the people want you back. We might just have to keep you for another day and do a soaking at the hotel in one of those rooms. Delinda, we need to start working on that. If Michael's on, we need to start working on that, because maybe we can do a Sunday evening soak time where we can just so we have to talk to Michael, because he gonna kill us both, because I'm always changing something. But he here for it. He here for it. See, Nakia is saying that because it's time out. Listen, it's time out for this horrible injustice of the people trying to live something they don't understand.
I agree. So I want to put this plug in because I know we're in the middle and people about to jump off because it's an hour. We need to stop glorifying the Ephesians 4 gifts and diminishing the Romans 12 gifts. Every gift is a gift. And as an apostolic voice, I can't do what I do without the gift of helps, or at the gift of service, or at the gift of exhortation. Like, none of this is possible in a silo. We need them all, and they're all equally important. Now, the responsibilities may not be the same, but the importance is equally there. We can't do any of this by ourselves. I tell you what, let an apostolic voice try to do it all by themselves. So that you'll see a lot of people who are highly gifted. You're like, well, why didn't they take off? Because they try to do it all themselves. They try to build it around their own personality and did not fully understand or appreciate the other 20 some odd gifts that are out there. Apostles cannot say, I'm the apostle and try to lord over the prophet and the teacher or the evangelist. You need all of the other four to be effective in ministry. You need all of them. They all work together. Each joint supplies. Each one supplies. We can't have a bunch of heads and no arms and no feet. We need them all. We need them all. And so that's another thing that has happened is we've glorified the Ephesians 4 gifts and said the other gifts are just of non-effect. They're not important at all. And that's not the case, because the Ephesians 4 gifts cannot even begin to do what they do without the other gifts. You cannot serve people without the gift of helps. You can't. You cannot say, I want to feed the homeless and deal with the orphan and the poor and no one in the gift of helps. You can't. You need somebody who's on your team that understands business and who can negotiate for you like a gift of administration. Someone who can keep you on task and keep you focused. You got to have all of that to be effective.
Yeah. Everybody need a Michael Blah. Y'all just gotta get your own, and it may not be Michael Blah.
Well, why come Michael Blah is not out here training other administrative administrative gifts?
Well, let me just put his post back up, and maybe he'll come in and ask us. Be able to tell us, like, Michael Blah, why are you not for training? Michael is definitely in the process of holding a session where he's going to be teaching other people who already have that gifting and love it, how he does it so well. He will tell you that we talk about this all the time, how he has to teach people to do what he does. But more than anything, I'm glad he's all on here saying that we changed departure times and extended reservations for you to do what we ask you to do. So, we can be all that God has called us to be. Yes, he is, Chris. He is awesome. And he makes sure that we are taken care of. And so we definitely need all of the gifts. We definitely need your gift in this area as well. Oh, wait. Michael, you see her, right? But I think it is. I think it's an excellent idea as well. So we're gonna help Michael do what he needs to do, and we definitely need that teaching to go forth on Sunday. So I'll let Michael handle that because that's not my area. I'll just say that I think that it's needed. The people want it, and I think that we should do it, and maybe we can do it while we're having our taste of Philly, and because we also want to make sure that you have time to rest while you're here. We know you come into work, but we want you to rest. We don't want you to say that we wore you out, and didn't treat you good. We're going to serve you well. And we're going to serve you well. And we're going to make sure, Michael, you probably going to hear this again when she get here. She going to get you. Let me just ask one last question before we go, because I do like to stick to like an hour and a half at the most. And so if someone feels, and this is not on the list, so don't look at those questions. I feel like you've answered a lot of them and they need to wait till prayer intensive to get the rest. But let me ask you this question. You can answer it as Holy Spirit leads you. If someone knows for a fact after being here that they have been misplaced, that they have been, Nikita, me too, Z. If they know that they've been misplaced and they have, they want out and don't know how does one that doesn't have my personality, just walk out. But one who feels like maybe they're going to let their leadership down, um, or feel like they're going to let their church down, or whatever reason might come up, what would you say to that person that's sitting in a wrong calling, that wasn't given by God, and it feels frustrated in that area because they're not really being used anywhere, because they've been given this title, but they don't really feel comfortable operating in it, and where they should be, they're not operating at all either. What would you say?
To thine self be true.
Mm.
So I realized the weekend I was affirmed as a prophet that I wasn't a prophet. And this is how. The moment they dropped my mantle on me, it felt wrong. Like I just knew within me something didn't feel right. Like this just is not, I'm not like other prophets. And this is what I mean by that. We administer our gifts differently, but there's still something, an anchoring thing that says that lets you identify. There's a smell, there's a look, there's something about you that lets you know a thing for you to determine what a thing is. But there was just something about it. It felt wrong. I immediately understood what David felt like when he put on Saul's armor. It just did not fit. It did not feel right. And so what I began to do is to begin to be authentically me and just do what it is that I do and allow myself to the option to be open to hear and to learn about all the gifts. And then I began to find myself and where I sat in that. And I just began to be and do what it is that I am. So here's the thing. Jesus asked the apostles, who do they say that I am? And they gave him, all these, some say you're this, some say you're this, some say you're that. And then he asked, well, who do you say that I am? And Peter's like, this is who you are. And he's like, well, flesh and blood did not reveal that to you, blah, 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 blah. We have to be okay with, because there are some places and spaces that only receive me as a prophet. And that's okay. There's some places and spaces that receive me as an apostle. And that's okay. There's some places that only receive me as an elder. That too is okay. And there's some places, because I'm a woman, will not receive me as anything but a minister of movement. And guess what? That is okay as well. I had to disconnect my identity from my gift. Meaning that my gift did not define who I was, but I bring definition to the gift. So Michelle Harding is a different type of apostle than Martina Mitchell is, than Nakia is, but we're still all apostles. Right? Chris Vickers is a different type of prophet than other prophets, but they're still all prophets. What's important is we know who we are as a person first. So therefore, our gift does not define us.
Yeah.
Who are you outside of your gifting? Who are you? First and foremost, once you have a firm understanding of who you are, you can administer your gifts with clarity, with keenness, and not be swayed or manipulated by it, and not be a slave to people's perception or expectation of it. Therefore, you're not performing. You have a lot of gifts who are performing for the stage.
Yeah.
But a void in their soul.
My Lord.
And if you have eyes to see, you can see it. And I'll give you an example. I love Chandler Moore and his music. Before he did his last studio album, was it Emotions, or where he talks about all of his battles and expressions and all of this other stuff? Whenever I heard his voice, I could hear the turmoil that he was in
Mm.
because I wasn't impressed by his ability. I was concerned about him as a person.
Yeah.
And so he would lead with his gift, but I was concerned about, I'm like, something is up with it. Like, I like his worship and he's skilled, but something is wrong with him. Like, and I was wondering, well, does anyone around him see this? Does anyone know? Before I came to Christ, the artist formerly known as Tone, B Slade, I'm like, something's off with this guy. Like, how are y'all in Christendom all excited about this guy, and he's just like, he's bleeding in all of his songs? Like, y'all can't hear him bleeding? The reason why we love the song Lord Make Me Over is because he had not reconciled within himself who he was.
Mm.
And he was trying so hard to conform to the expectation of him. And so you hear all this whatever this we call it the anointing. No, that was him crying out for y'all to see him for who he was.
Yeah.
Right? So we'll get back to that, back to loving people for who they are first, and then seeing their gifting. But we get so enamored by gifting, we forget the humanity. And we're here for humanity by way of gifting.
Wow. My God, this was so good. Like, you have broken so much down just concerning the gifts. And I pray that everyone takes the time to really do a self-examination, you know, uh, get clarity on who you are. It's one of the things you actually said in this workbook. One of the first chapters, I believe, is that who are you? Get to know who you are. So if you're just coming in, and we're going to go out on the promo for Nakia also, but I just want you guys to know that this isn't only about a ministry of movement. This workbook is like a whole game changer for whatever office or gifting that you have, that you can take what you do, who you are, and what you do to another level. Nakia, I am just blown away by how Father uses you. I cannot wait. I cannot wait for the Lord to do something um, amazing with you in this meeting that's coming up at Prayer Intensive, that we are now extending to Sunday, into Sunday, so that we can get what we need. Listen, guys, again, if you would like to become a monthly partner of Martina Mitchell Ministries, we are a nonprofit organization. You can give into this vein on tonight, either through our Cash App, which is $M Mitchell Ministries 1, or you can give through our PayPal, which our email for the PayPal is mbly, mbly at martinamitchellministries.com. martinalmitchellministries.com. We're going to fix that typo. martinalmitchellministries.com. Listen, guys, don't forget, this is the prayer intensive. Every week, we're leading up to the prayer intensive. We have some amazing speakers that are going to be with us, that will be sharing with us next week on October the 11th. We will have none other than Apostle Kendra Carr, the Dr. Kendra Carr. Panita will be with us at 6 p.m. on next week. No, 5:30. I will change that. 5:30. She will be with us 5:30, 6 p.m. our time, 5 p.m. her time. It's going to be more around 5:30ish Eastern Standard, Central Time, and 6:30 here. And that's because Mondays is her rest time, and we want to make sure that we keep her only for that hour so that she can rest. Keep Apostle Panita in prayer, because she is preaching 60 days straight. 60 days straight. And so we're asking you all to pray for her. And listen, pray for Nakia O. This powerhouse, this Davina, is going to have doors opening to her that man has not really ready for, but really, really needs. And I'm just grateful to God that he's giving us. Nakia, they're asking, how much are your books, love?
So the book is $12.99. The workbook is $34.99. You can order those at Amazon.com. However, if you order them through Amazon, I can't sign them. If you go to www.nakiaoshy.com, you can order them through my website. You can get both of those books for $45, what there would be normally $48 as a bundle, and I sign them all. All right, so you can order if you want them. If you want the people who can't wait, you go to Amazon.com and get it. It's on there, and it's Prime eligible. Okay, both the book and workbook are Prime eligible. You can go to NakiaOshy.com and I will sign them. Or you can get them at Prayer Intensive because I will have them at Prayer Intensive as well.
Awesome. If they want to pay you ahead of time for Prayer Intensive, for you to bring them at Prayer Intensive, is that an option? And where should they send that payment? Should they go to
yes, they can go to Nakia Cash App. It's $ Nakia Oshy. Nakia Oshy is my Cash App. And I just listen, y'all. My kids, they drug me so bad. They drug me so bad, so bad. So I finally have Cash App. I have Cash App. Or you can email me at info@nakiaoshy.com and I can send you an invoice.
Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. NakiaOshy.com. I can send you an invoice through Square, and if I send you an invoice through Square, you can use any one of your credit cards to do that, or just email me and I can we can talk about payment that way.
Awesome. Listen, and if you want to bless this woman of God on tonight, as we all should, because you gave such a wealth of information on tonight, you can use her Cash App, or again, you can contact her on Square, or go to her website, Nakia Oshy, info@nakiaoshy.com, correct?
Yes, that's the email button, www.nakiaoshy.com. I mean, everything's simple. I had to simplify my life. So I have a quick question for you, Apostle.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know if anyone had any questions in the chat. Can we give like 5 minutes for that?
We can take any time. I'm trying not to monopolize your time because I'm
good. I cleared the schedule.
Thank you for putting that up, Sarah. Thank you so much.
Sarah and Tristan are amazing.
Michael, what says that any one of your choice, Apostle? You might have to text me to explain that, or are you talking to Nakia?
Yeah, I'm gonna have books with me. And what I probably would do is I probably mail you some. That way, and you can keep them with you if people wanted to order with you. I can mail you some for you to sell and just Cash App me the.
Absolutely.
Do that as well.
And anything that's left, we will ship them back to you. No cost to you. No cost to you. All right. Any questions on tonight? Because I know that it was a lot. And I'm trying to go back just to see. I know there was a lot of information in a short time. You're going to gift a bundle. Okay, to anybody of my choice or Nakia's choice?
I'm leave it to you.
I'm not sure who has it. So let's just say it like this. We'll gift it, whatever one you purchase, Michael, we'll gift it at Prayer Intensive. How about that? We'll put everybody's name in a hat or something and draw somebody's name to receive that. Oh, you said both. So I don't know who Nakia would choose, or you want to wait till Prayer Intensive and choose yours as well, Nakia, or you want to gift somebody tonight. I'm not really sure. Any questions from anyone on tonight? Tristan, thank you for joining us.
Yes.
Thank you.
Now that right there, that's the armor bear right there, baby.
Let's see.
So we'll give them 2 minutes. I know there's a slight delay between us and.
Yeah, I was so full of questions, but I was like, I'm trying, let me not ask anything that because I think my first question I went up in your notes, but
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Now let's see. All right, we're gonna give you guys a couple of minutes. As a matter of fact, while we're waiting for your questions, let me just go ahead and do this so you can watch the whole.
Yes, ma'am.
All righty, let's see if we have. I see a comment popped up. Will the intensive, brand intensive, be live stream? So yes, as we get closer, what we normally do is once we run out of space, then we do offer a virtual price for live streaming, which will be in a private group that we have every year. It's called Prayer Intensive on Facebook Live. And so we normally just do it there in that area. And we add you to the group, and you get to watch the whole intensive live. So yeah, that's normally amazing to us for those that cannot fly in, or just really want to be a part. Maybe they have some other things that they have to do, and can't come all the way to Philadelphia. We do live streaming. We will be posting that soon, and I will make sure that I tag all of our speakers on that flyer. So Tristan, you'll be able to see it. Okay. Great question. Another question. Apostle Nakia, how many gifts did you say were in First Corinthians? I missed something in my notes.
11. So you have, I'll go through them again. You have the word of wisdom, word of knowledge, the gift of faith, the gifts, plural, of healing, the working of miracles, discerning, or discerning, which means distinguishing of spirits, the gift of tongues, the gift of interpreting of tongues, the gift of prophecy. And then you go to 12:28, and you have the gift of helps and the gift of administration. So there's technically 11 gifts talked about in First Corinthians.
Great question. Great question. Thank you, Z. Deborah Hooper, believing yourself to not be used in the correct position. What is the most godly way you would suggest to address it with leadership? Great question.
So when I was affirmed as an elder, or ordained as an elder, my pastor wanted to ordain me as a prophet again. And I knew at that point I was an apostle. And I told him that I felt that I was an apostle. He felt that I was a prophet. I asked him, would he be okay with just ordaining me as an elder and not doing the fivefold gifting with it? And can we talk about it a year later? And I told him if he was not okay with that, I am okay with not being ordained as anything. And he agreed to the elder with nothing attached to it. So you have to be okay with walking away with nothing.
Mm.
You have to know who you are, but I said it in a way that he could understand and appreciate. And I did not come at him like, I know who I am and why can't you see me? It was none of that. I was willing. I gave him an out. But that's what I think that's what we forget to do, is give our leadership an out, because sometimes it can be a pride thing. Sometimes it can be a lack of knowledge. Sometimes it can be an innocent thing. And I gave him an out. If you feel this strongly, I don't agree with it. And because I don't agree, I don't want you affirming me as something I don't agree that I am. Mm-hmm. And I'm okay with just serving you in whatever capacity you want me to serve you without the title.
That's good.
And because I came at him that way, that I gave him the option to do what he felt was best and what was right, he chose to hear me. I also understand that my leader is not like every other leader, and some leaders are not as malleable as he is. But you have to know who you are and be okay with it. That when I was affirmed as a prophet, I'm gonna give you the other side of this. When I was affirmed as a prophet, the leader who affirmed me wanted to affirm me as an apostle because he saw me as an apostle. And I told him, because I didn't understand what an apostle was at the time and I couldn't explain how I was an apostle, I didn't want to be affirmed as an apostle. So I gave him an out. I said, I know what a prophet is. I've trained, I've sat under prophets. I look like one, smell like one, kinda enough to pass as one. I'm okay with being called a prophet. But if you feel I'm an apostle, don't affirm me as anything and let me walk with you for a year or two for me to learn what an apostle is. And in that moment, then we can discuss if I feel I'm an apostle. Because regardless of what man says, I am who God says I am.
Right.
I'm just waiting for man to agree with what God said I am. So it doesn't matter. So for me, I don't care personally about any of it, because regardless of what you call me, I'm going to function as who I am. And you can receive me however you want to receive me. And it's not from a place of arrogance. It's just fact. I can't hide who I am. I can sit in a room of 1,000 people and who I am is still going to come to the forefront. I can't hide it. So I don't have to have paperwork saying that I am that. I don't have to have endorsement to say that I am that. I just know that I am that, and I'm going to function. And if you agree with how I function, that's great. And if you don't, that's okay too.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the best lessons I learned is um we have to know who we are, because if we don't have knowledge of who we are, people will make us what they need us to be in that moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
So great question. Great question. Hey, Apostle Cassie. Great question. Great question. Any other questions? I was tagging Apostle. I was tagging Prophet Ernest Smalls because he
Mm-hmm.
and I had just had a conversation that he walked away from being ordained. Um, he risked it all,
But
and
are you risking it all?
no, really not, because he ended up coming up where we are, and he sat in the back. And one Sunday, overseer called his name and told him he had to come sit up front to be who he's supposed to be. And so, your gift definitely will make room for you, and it will show you who you are, what you're supposed to be operating in.
Right.
So I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, that's great, Deborah Hooper. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank
Glad
you.
I can
Thank
help.
you. And she definitely gave a great response to that, because I believe we still have to be humble. We still have to walk in humility, even if we're
Absolutely.
disagreeing.
Absolutely. Because at the end of the day, that's not my church. I'm not the senior leader there. That's their church. And I have a choice to make. Either I align with what they're saying or I can leave.
Yeah.
That is the reality. We forget. Like, I don't own that church and I'm not required to be there. I'm so connected to the body as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
And if that leader wants to lead how they want to lead, I have the choice to leave. I don't have to stay there. And I can leave and not cause a stink and not besmirch anybody and not drag anybody in the mud. Today, if my pastor says, you know what, you've moved to North Carolina, I ordained you as an elder, I want my paperwork back. Okay. It doesn't change who I am. It doesn't
Right.
change how God has gifted me. It doesn't change any of that. But that comes from knowing who you are as a person and being okay with who you are as a person. When I go into places, although I have been affirmed as an apostle, I typically tell them I'm an elder first. And they have to figure out my fivefold gifting.
Yeah.
Because I'm here to serve. I'm here to, however you want to use me, use me. And so I'm great administratively. I can do that. I'm a phenomenal teacher. I can do that. I'm good at a lot of things. I can do that. And then, by the way, oh my gosh, I think you're an apostle. Yep, that's me.
Tristan, we do. We absolutely do, because the place where you left was okay as long as you were there. So I think
Right,
we should be all right when we leave as well. You know, there still has
right.
to be a level of honor and respect, and
Even if there's scandal,
even if there's scandal, even if there's scandal, like
because
people need to understand.
honestly,
Go ahead.
because honestly, if someone held up a close up magnifying glass to us, I'm just saying.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Has to be a level of honor and respect. Can you go back to where you've left? And I still speak to leaders. I've only belonged to a few churches, so in different states, and so I can count them on one hand and still have fingers left over. But regardless of what happened, whether it was good, bad, or indifferent, there's still a level of respect that's there. I still, believe and trust what Father has spoken over my life as well as over their life. Our greatest example is David. No matter how much Saul was trying to kill him, David did not touch him. Even
Right.
though he cut a piece of his cloth off, his clothes off, he didn't touch him.
Did not touch him.
He did not touch him. And we have to be careful of that. This is so, 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 so amazing. Listen, guys, I'm going to tell you that you need to tell everybody you know that they need to become a part of what's happening. This meeting of prayer intensive is not a conference. It's not the kind of place. It's not the kind of um, meeting where there's going to be regular things. Like if there's any worship going on, it's going to be with the musical instruments that God gave us naturally. If there's going to be, the worship that's going to happen, it's going to happen from us. This is not a church service. This is not a huge conference where people are going to be preaching to you. This is some really great teaching. Now, I'm not saying they're not going to get excited. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is the best thing you can have is a notebook. And because we don't trust people to bring a notebook, we're giving you notebooks. We give you a notebook, one that you would love to take and one that you can continue to use to write notes in along the way. You need to be telling people, whether they're coming virtually or whether they can get here, that they need to be a part of this meeting, because Father is taking his church to the place where he originally designed it to be. And in order to do that, we have to be qualified to be able to stand and speak of who we are and how we got there, and how the journey happened, and how can they come along, and why should they want to believe the way we believe, and what's so special about Jesus Christ, and what is it about this new covenant, and all of the things that we have negated to really teach the body of Christ so that they can be strong in the areas that they need to be. This is going to be an amazing move or movement, and I believe that you need to be in the place. We would love to have you in the room, but if you just can't make it and you need to come virtually, I just ask you to stay tuned. You'll see it posted on our different pages. We'll make sure that's on the Martina Mitchell Facebook page, as well as the prayer intensive page. You can only get into prayer intensive if you have registered for this year. Now, those that registered last year, if you're not a part of what's of this year, we've already scrubbed it. So either you're coming virtually or you're going to be in the room. And even if you're in the room, we still put you in the prayer intensive group so that you have a whole year to go back and watch those teachings and meditate on them and get them into your heart. I'm excited about it. I am in love with what Father is doing. And the key, I'm so grateful that you have accepted to come, that you have accepted to have this conversation even on tonight, and that all you're doing to invest, all you're pulling in, all of your studying that you're doing to invest in the people. I'm eternally grateful. I believe lives are going to be changed. I believe some people who are at the point of giving up are going to grab back a hold of the altar and really walk out this thing called salvation. I just believe that that's in you. And I believe that you're going to share that on that weekend. I just believe it's going to be amazing. And I'm excited and I can't wait. For those of you that don't know, what's the day? The 6th? Was
The
it the 6th?
fifth.
The 5th. In 5 days is my birthday. And so on my birthday, I'm going to run a special on my birthday. I'm going to run a special on my birthday. So I want y'all to look out. My birthday is 10/10. On 10/10, we're going to run a special and you're going to want to be. So you need to be watching to see what's happening. All right. It's either I'm going to run a special or I'm going to just give something. Yeah. I feel a 10 giveaway. I feel a 10 giveaway. Something going to happen with 10 because I'm 10/10. All right, Nakia, give us the last words before we get up out of here.
I will tell anyone who's coming to prayer intensive, do me a favor. I know we like to be suited and booted. I'm giving you a hint to my session, and you got to be there. Wear comfortable clothing.
No, that's for the whole weekend.
Wear comfortable. I'm giving you a hint to my session. Wear comfortable clothing. All right? Because there's a whole teaching on prayer that y'all might not be ready for. Wear comfortable clothing. And I will tell you this, in my session, everyone participates. There are no spectators. Know this. I'm excited about prayer intensive. I'm excited about, I think I'm going to have slides. Yeah. Because I'm a teacher and I've learned. Tristan and Chris and my kids have got on me so badly about things that there'll be slides. And everybody, listen, Delinda, I don't care if you're working. Everybody participates.
Thank you.
Everybody. And you can ask Tristan about that. Everybody. It's a full, everybody participates. I don't get, you got a 2-year-old, the 2-year-old participating too. Okay. All right. But I'm excited about prayer intensive. Hopefully we can just recalibrate and demystify prayer and bring it back to what it is. It is a relationship building tool between you and the Father. And we stop making it seem so deep. And so, there's levels to prayer. What do you mean there's levels to prayer? I mean, are there levels to how you talk to your parents? When you were 2 years old, did your parents not still do for you as if you were and dealt with you just like they dealt with your 30-year-old you? Does it change? Okay. But just know that I'm looking forward to this opportunity. Whatever you want me to teach, whether it's Friday night, Saturday, doesn't matter. I'm open. I'm not typically the bring them on home and charging people up.
We're going to ease you in. We're going to let you do your Saturday, but we're going to have you longer. We're going to have you doing Sunday.
Okay. It's what it is. It's what it is. As long as you feed me, I'm good.
We're going to feed you.
And I'm ready.
I already got what you asked me for, already ready for Saturday. So folks going to feel some type of way because you're going to be the only one with it. But anywho.
Is baby daddy going to be there too?
Yes. And I would tell you something, but I'll tell you off screen because I don't need,
Man, I got it. I love you all.
Listen, guys, it's going to be amazing. We are 26, actually we're 24 days away now. We're 24 days away from Prayer Intensive 2024. And we are so happy that you are here. Listen, if you are registering for Prayer Intensive, you need to go to MMM. So it's triple M's, MMM Prayer Intensive 2021 .eventbrite.com. MMM Prayer Intensive 2021 .eventbrite.com. We're going to have Michael add on the virtual. I'll talk to him this night. So if you're doing virtual, it won't be available until tomorrow or later on tonight. I want you to have an amazing evening. Again, Nakia O, the Apostle Thank you so much for being a part and coming on to Monday Moments with Martina Mitchell on Tuesday. Because this sometimes we just gotta disrupt the whole situation. Have a great evening, guys. Remember that no matter, have a great night, and then have a great day on tomorrow. Remember that no matter what tomorrow's day may hold, we serve the God who holds the day. Be abundantly blessed. Bye.